I used to think that young guys were, pretty reliable and all that. I wrote a book called The Fuck List, a lot of young guys in there. But something seems to have shifted with the youth. It seems to me now that men in their 20s are much more immature. Even they have jobs and all that, but they seem more flaky. I don't know if they ever heard of the words like accountability, reliability, keeping your word. A little bit more impulsive, of course, since they're in their 20s. But they're not good in bed, and I think it's because they're watching more porn now than ever. As men have cut back on dating, and not all men, because all the young men in my family, in my immediate family, they're all married or on their way to getting married. But there are a lot of guys in society that have checked out of mating. When men check out of mating, nothing good happens. Guys, you need to be out there dating women, okay? You should be getting your pussy from a real woman that you're in a relationship with. And the porn should be something you do occasionally when you're already horny, maybe once or twice a month. Your main, if you're horny, you should use that horny energy to get with a woman in real life. And I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. This is motherly advice video. First of all, when you're getting your sexual needs met with porn, you become sexually lazy. You become a sexual F. You don't have to try. The pussy's delivered to your door. It's like eating a frozen pizza rather than getting a fresh pizza right out of the brick oven. It's like eating potato chips. It'll fill you up, but it's not going to make you a real man. It makes you lazy. When you actually have to pursue a woman, you need to develop your courage, your ability to handle rejection. You have to actually get dressed, go out, and develop yourself as a man in society. And you have to tune into the woman and figure out what women want, and you get a realistic experience of interacting with a woman, how to turn on a woman, what gets her aroused, how to deal with her. And when you start being sexual with her and you tune in, you realize what women like. You're living in the real world. When you start watching porn, you are disconnected from the real world. It's like watching a video game. You're just in a fantasy land. And the problem is you start to think that's real. That's the problem. You start to think that's real, and then when you get with the woman, you expect her to act like the porn actresses, and they're just acting. And you're not James Bond. It's like the woman going out with you expecting you to be like James Bond. Look dashing and say all the right things. Or she expects you to drive like the guys in Fast and Furious. But you're not a stunt man. You're a man. And she's not a porn actress. The porn actresses will tell you we don't have sex like that with our boyfriends. We don't. It's acting. And it's very bad acting because it's not authentic. It's very mechanical. It lacks sensuality. They're not actually aroused. And it's made for a primitive male gaze, let's be honest. Because even lesbians don't watch lesbian porn. It's made for the male gaze. They watch gay porn because it's actually authentic. The other problem with watching too much porn is you're desensitizing your penis. So there are many young men in their 20s who are unable to ejaculate with using a condom in vaginal sex. They're so desensitized. You should be all the way into your 60s and be able to ejaculate in a condom with vaginal sex. If you cannot ejaculate in a condom in vaginal sex, and I'm not talking about a super quick ejaculator, that's a different problem, you have a problem. You should be very concerned. But don't worry, you can get your sensitivity back by not using a death grip when you're stroking. A death grip is a really tight grip with no lube. You're damaging your penis. You've damaged your penis. When you're watching a lot of porn and not going out with real women, you're damaging your penis, you're damaging your manhood, you're damaging your social skills, and you are setting yourself back in life. You guys have no idea how damaging this porn is, because you got to learn how to interact with real people now. When you're watching porn, you're just having women served up to you, like DoorDash a woman. And that's making you very lazy, and it's rotting your brain. You got to be out in your 20s, you got to be building things. When you're dry rubbing to porn, okay, in real life, people get turned on occasionally here and there, and then they actually make the effort to get what they want. I'm hungry, I have to go get some groceries, I have to cook a meal, I'm going to eat, so there's a whole cycle. I'm horny, I need to get a woman, I want a relationship. Okay, I have to dress up a certain way, I have to go to places where women are, I have to socially interact with them, I have to flirt with them, I have to figure out what they like, I have to look at her and kiss her and talk to her and follow up with her and plan a date. These are all going to make you a better man. But if you skip this step and you start resorting to porn, you lose. You're losing like half of your manhood, and you're desensitizing your penis because you're dry rubbing it. So the way out of this cycle is, when you're horny, just start thinking about dating. And if you're gonna masturbate, don't masturbate to porn. Use your imagination. Whatever you saw in your porn, just imagine that, okay? And that way, you're only going to masturbate when you're horny. Because what men will do, they get bored. So they put on a porno, and now they're horny. It's not their body that's horny, it's artificially horny. And this is bad, because now it's going to take you longer to come, and you're damaging your penis with the dry rubbing. You should if you're circumcised, you should. And I'm lecturing now, because this is serious, you guys are damaging your penis with your death grip. Get a little lube. Just be nice to your penis, guys. Use a loose grip, use a little lube, and this will simulate the mouth of a woman or the vagina of a woman. Just imagine your hand is a mouth or a vagina of a woman, and just be loving to it like a woman would be loving to it. And that way, if you're not watching the porn, you're only going to do it when your body actually wants a release. And your body needs a release. You should be masturbating when you're horny, naturally, not because the porn made you horny. Maybe you saw a hot woman at the gym and you're horny. You go home and you masturbate. Just think about her, okay? Okay, so that's enough of that. And I'm telling you, these young guys in their 20s, because I work with them, I'm not going to work with them anymore because they're too damaged. They're too damaged. They're damaged. I don't want to work with damaged people. I don't. I want to work with people who are not damaged, who want to like fine tune some things. I don't want to work with damaged people. So I'm making this video as a kind of a public service announcement. And I'm not saying all porn is bad. You know, if you are going to watch something, I suggest you watch it only occasionally. You shouldn't need it to come. And then it could be something educational, like Vivid used to have really great videos about like how to do anal sex, how to give a blowjob, how to go down on a woman. Educational videos are really good. Or if you Google what's called romantic porn, which is very sensual, it'll enliven your heart too. And it shows you how a real couple interacts, and it can awaken your desire to be with an actual woman. Because the just physical stuff, to me, I just cringe. I'm like, that looks like painful. As a woman, I know that looks painful. And by the way, I once talked to a guy who used to work making props for braziers, and he said those porn stars, they can't ejaculate. They have to go off and watch some kind of porno video, and when they're close to coming, they go back into the scene. All those porn people are damaged too. They're damaged, and they're having sex without condoms. That's not even, it's so disgusting what they do. If you're going to watch porn, watch like a real couple that's like authentic. Like they actually love each other and they're very sensual and intentional in their touch. That's what I would watch. And, if you're a man with good social skills and you have a job and you like women, you can get women. That's what I would focus on. because it's okay to check out and be lazy, but some things that make us lazy are just a little bit more damaging than you might realize. And I'm telling you this only because I see the downstream consequences of these young guys who are dry rubbing to porn, and then they come to a session and they are completely lost. They don't know how to appreciate a real woman because that part of them has just been turned off. Like, how could I explain it? It's almost like a muscle that you've never used. Like, it's, I don't know how to explain it, but I think that these young guys under 30, they're not worth fucking. I would stay away from young guys under 30. Ladies, if you're dating a guy who has trouble coming, run until he fixes his porn problem. Young guy in his 20s. Man, I hope this isn't like a sign of how our society is going downhill. And who's benefiting from our society going downhill like that? Who's benefiting? They're trying to destroy our society for what? Is there like an ulterior motive? But the men who are on track, they're not getting sidetracked doing all that porn. They're studying, they're going to school, they're studying, they're building a business, they're getting their work experience, they're on a mission. These men have women, and they're dating, and they're getting married. And that's the track that I think people ought to be on. Because it's just a richer life if you get married and you have children with a good partner who's also on track. If you can find that, and you can. I think young people today have more opportunities. They're more emotionally developed. My generation, we didn't ever talk about feelings. This is like a new thing. And people who are in tune with their feelings and have empathy and like relationships are going to make better partners. This is my opinion. You don't have to get in a relationship. I know if people watch my channel who are like, I will never date. I've never dated. I don't ever want to get married. And you have a right to your opinion. I just think that people are missing out. I think there's a lot of personal growth that can be accomplished. I mean, never getting married is like only never having sex with a real person. There's just a big facet of our life that isn't developed when we're not in relationship, when we're not in family life, when we're not interacting in relationships with people sexually. I just think that we're missing out a lot. And I mean, it would be nice for me to find a relationship, but if God wants me to have one, a man will come into my life. But I'm not interested in the 20s anymore. So 30 and up only. I don't want to be your mommy. I don't want to substitute for your porn addiction. I like real men who know how to appreciate a woman. That's what I like. And that means 30 and up only. Thanks for watching my video.